Hello and welcome to another C3 Stingray video. Today we're working on this 77 Corvette and we're going to take the rear bumper cover off. Now this 77 parts car, I've never seen a frame rusted as bad as this one. I mean, it's completely rusted away, especially on that side in the corner. I had to put a 2x4 on it to hold it up because it was just ripping right through the frame. So this is like a worst case scenario on taking a bumper cover off because this car is rusted everywhere, so it'll be interesting to see how many things I break taking this off. But at least you'll see exactly what you need to do to take a bumper cover off, and hopefully yours isn't in this bad a shape. If it is, you probably shouldn't even be messing with your bumper cover. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do, and hit that like button, share button, and all that other stuff. But let's just get into the video. To start out, we're going to take off these lens covers, these taillight lenses. There's 2 Phillips screws in each cover. Once you get it out, just slip the lens out, and then if you have the light on the back, you just need to grab that and twist it, and it'll pop right out of the back. Now, unlike the C4 Corvette, if you've seen that video where I take the bumper cover off a C4 Corvette, there's that hole there where you take the tail light out. In the C4 it's really big, but you can see in the C3 it's really small. It would be so much easier, this whole process would be easier if those holes were big enough to get your hand through, but unfortunately they're not. Now we're going to finish taking these lenses out and then move on to the license plate. Now the license plate, there are 3 3/8" screws in there, and that holds the bottom of the cover down. Really the only tools you need are a 3/8" socket, ratchet, and a Phillips head, and that's pretty much all you need. And here are the retainer nuts for the edges of the bumper cover. There are 4 on the side, there are 10 across the top, and 4 on the other side. Now 10 across the top are actually 2 separate retainers, 5 on each retainer. But there's a total of 18 3/8" nuts that you're going to have to remove to get this bumper cover off. And these are all a real pill, so it's a really good idea to soak them down. As you can see, we took those 3 out of the license plate, so the bottom's already loose. Now we got to start taking these 3/8" nuts, the sides, and I'm using a ratchet here, and I didn't even get 2 turns and that one broke off. Moving to the next one, I think I'm going to get like 3 or 4 turns on this one before it breaks off. I broke quite a few of them off, let's just say that. It was kind of a pill. As you can see there, that one broke off. And I'm moving to the next one. I needed an extension there. I don't know why I was trying to put this in there. It's just not enough room to move. If you put an extension on that, you can get past that side light and you get a little more room to move with it. I end up taking my ratchet wrench to get this one off. You can see now I'm using a ratchet wrench on it. And this ratchet wrench is the best thing to use for these top ones. This one you could get off with a regular ratchet and extension. But that next one up, the top, the 4th one on the side and on the other side, you'll have to use a ratchet wrench to get that off because there's just not enough room to maneuver up there. And then all the other 10 nuts across the rest of the top, you're gonna have to use a ratchet wrench. And you can see I got this in fast motion, and I'm ratcheting for quite a while, and you can see it wasn't even halfway there yet. I honestly thought I would speed the process up on the other side, and I got my air ratchet out and first hit, and I broke that one. The next one, I thought, well, I'll break it loose by ratcheting a little bit before I hit the air, and guess what? I broke that one. So, I got one more here I'm going to try. There's not a whole lot of room to work, and it's hard to get up in there, and I'm trying to maneuver it on there. And I did get to use the air on this one for quite a while. I can't remember, I didn't show this one all the way. I don't know if this one broke or not. I got a feeling it did at the very end. There were a lot of them. I mean, I would get almost all the way to the end and think, oh, well, I finally got it, and it would still break. It's very, very frustrating. Because every one of these nuts you had to back off all the way to the very, very end before you could use your fingers to get it off, and most of them I could never get my fingers on to get off. Okay, that top one there is the fourth one on the side, and then the next one's one of the top nuts, one of the top 10, and as you see, we're giving a shot here of all those up there. See those two close together, that's the center. That's where they separate the two retainers. And there, you can tell there's not a lot of room. You can't get a ratchet on that with a socket. There's no room to get up in there. So here's a shot of me with the ratchet wrench just to show you what it's like getting back there to try to get a hold of one of these things. It's frustrating. I mean, I jacked the car up, so I think that makes it a little easier. You could leave it down. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to lay underneath there and ratchet this, please wear safety goggles. Do not go there thinking, oh, I won't get anything in my eye. You'll get stuff in your eye. Trust me, I'm talking from experience. You will get stuff in your eye, and it's no fun. So I would just be cautious, because you're going to be ratcheting for a long time. As you can see, I'm making little to no progress here, and I'm constantly moving it. And here it is in super fast motion. I don't think I even showed this nut coming off. It took forever and a day, and it's a real pain to get to. I'm to the halfway point here. I'm actually just one past the halfway point, and taking them off with a ratchet wrench was impossible. After the first one, I'm like, I was already done. I mean, you can't get a socket up there, you can't get anything up there except a wrench. The ratchet wrench is the best, but you can only move like this. So I got the idea. I took my ratchet wrench and I zip tied it and taped it to this long extension I have, and now it makes it easier. It's still not easy by any means. Look, by any means, but it's easier. So you gotta go up there, feel for your nut. Get up there, get your ratchet wrench on. Got some wires in the way this time. And now I can hold it on with the one hand, and I can move a lot faster and farther with the other hand with the ratchet. I'm not saying this is the easiest way I've found to get these off. Still not fast by any means, at least not with mine, because it doesn't seem to matter how much I loosen them. I can never take them off by fingers. I have to ratchet it all the way to the end, and these things are pretty long. Now, I've broken a couple of them, but I've gotten a lot off too. As you see, this is still taking forever. It just broke. And you still got the problem with them just breaking. You can see that one broke off. But obviously the retainer clips are going to have to be replaced anyway, because I've already broken off on both sides, and now across the top I've broken a couple. But this seems to be an easier way to do it. So you can see I just took a regular extension I had. I put a couple zip ties on this ratchet wrench, and then I put some tape on just to hold the zip ties from slipping one way or the other, because this is really slick. This works pretty good. I don't know, I'm sure somebody has a better idea, but you cannot get a deep socket on these, and you definitely can't get a ratchet wrench in there. I mean, a ratchet in there. It's just too tight. And you see how many more I got left. I got two more left, I think. So I'm getting there. At least I'm getting somewhere now. So I won't bother you with the details of taking these off, but I just wanted to show this. To show this is one way to do it, and it does make it a little easier. It makes it easier to reach. Obviously I jacked the car up, so it makes it easier to get under this way. But back to ratcheting. Finally. Whew. That took a couple minutes of ratcheting. As you can see, I put it in fast motion because it was was deadly. That one didn't break, the nut came off, but it is not easy. I tell you, they just don't want to come off. I would suggest really spraying these down for a day or two before you're actually going to do this and make this a lot easier. I think I only have one more to go and I can take this thing off. I won't make you watch me do this one. Alright, now we have some retainers for all the tail lights. There's three 3/8" bolts or screws holding the retainer in, and these all have to be removed. Now you have to once again reach it from the inside. Each screw has to be undone from the inside. So I'm still using my wrench that I made up, and if you see my fingers in there, you can finally use that hole and get your finger through just to hold the wrench onto the screw while you're ratcheting so it doesn't pop off, which does make it a lot easier. As you can see, we got getting one off now, the first one, and there will be three of these on each tail light, each retainer for the tail lights. Now I'm just going through and getting the other two off on this one. I'm going to do something rare here. I'm going to do this in slow motion, taking this off because I didn't really get a good shot of it. So here it is coming off in slow-mo. So you're going to have to take each one of these off in each tail light, and these are the final things holding this bumper cover on. Alright, I have them all off now except for this nut here. I had the nut rounded off. I thought it broke loose, but the nut rounded off. I could not get it out, but I have it gapped far enough where I'm going to be able to cut it off with this cutoff tool. Now you might have to cut off several. You can use a Sawzall cutoff tool. You just want to make sure you got good enough gap to do that so you don't damage your car. Now everything's loose except I forgot the license plate light. And you can either reach back there and unscrew the light, or you can take these two Phillips screws out to remove the license plate light. And this is the final thing, and our bumper cover is off. Finally. Well, here's a breakdown of everything we just did. We started out with the tail lights. There's two Phillips screws in each tail light. And then we moved to the license plate area, and there's three 3/8" screws in that. Then we got to go to the retainers. There's 4 retainers altogether. There's 4 on this side, 5 to the middle, 5 to the other side, and 4 on the other for 18 total 3/8" nuts that you're going to have to take off for those 4 retainers. Then you have your taillight retainers. There's 3 3/8" screws in each one of those. And then don't forget your license plate light with the 2 Phillips screws. Well, there you have it. We got it off. Broke a lot of pieces, but these retainers, they don't cost that much. Actually, I sell them on my website now, so if you need a complete retainer kit for a rear bumper or front bumper, you can go to my website and get one of those at c3stingray.com. Another problem you have with these, I mean, this one's really rusted. It's hard to keep these things. I mean, hopefully yours is in good shape. You might be able to take your time and get it off, but another problem you have with these is these will break loose and they'll just spin inside in this. Like when you're turning the nut, the whole thing's just spinning inside this retainer. So you can't get it off. You end up having to cut it off. You can see that's where I cut that one off. I had to cut one off, which is pretty good. I thought I had to cut a lot more off. I only had to cut one off. But it came off of there better than I thought with my little crazy extension ratchet setup I made. That made it so much easier. I can't believe how much easier that made. If I'd had done that with that little wrench the whole time, I think I would have lost my mind by now. But we're going to have a lot more videos on the 77, taking various things off of this thing. And you can check out my other videos. I got a lot of how-to videos on C3, C4, C5 Corvettes, and also have videos on movies, games, and auctions, and I got a toy one coming out pretty soon. And I guess that's it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if you need any used or even new C3, C4, C5 Corvette parts, go to my website at c3stingray.com. And that's all I can say. I'll see you on the road.